The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is a huge place, and each of the little cities and suburbs have their own peculiarities, from the cost of housing to the cost of property taxes and even the cost of water. The question for today is, should you hang your hat in Fort Worth versus Dallas, or any of the numerous small towns and suburbs in between? Well, stay tuned, because today I'm going to give you some valuable information to help you make that decision. Hi everyone, my name is Wendy Pinnell, and I am a realtor and a broker here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and have been for over 13 years now. I've also lived in the great state of Texas since 1975, and today I want to tell you a little bit about the cost of living here in Fort Worth, Texas. Hopefully today I can help you decide if Fort Worth is the right place for you. First off, number one, let's talk about the cost of housing in Fort Worth. When comparing the two cities of Dallas versus Fort Worth, the cost of housing in Fort Worth is actually a lot lower than that of Dallas. 27% lower, in fact. There is a great selection of apartments, townhomes, family homes, and even ranches to choose from. In terms of geography, the north and far north areas of Fort Worth are being upgraded and are attracting people from all walks of life. I think you're going to especially like the suburb of Oakhurst, with its 1920s houses and bungalows sitting on large plots of lands. It's often voted the best place to live in all of Fort Worth, and it's actually really affordable. The far north of Fort Worth is full of new apartment blocks, houses, shopping malls, and entertainment centers. The near South Side community is more bohemian and suits the artsy set. It's affordable right now, but as popularity grows, so do prices. East Fort Worth has very affordable housing and is ideal for those commuting to Dallas or Arlington. So what kind of housing prices are we looking at in Fort Worth? If you're looking to buy a house in Fort Worth, the average price for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home is just over $260,000. If apartment living is more your style, then be prepared to spend about $1,300 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay, so you have a pretty good idea of the cost of housing. Let's move on to number 2, the cost of food and clothing. Okay, so you have a pretty good idea of the cost of housing. Let's move on to number 2, the cost of food and dining. There's no denying that Texans enjoy their food. You will find it all here, from Texan steakhouses to Mexican eateries. There are also the usual takeouts as well as restaurants for those who enjoy the fine dining experience. An inexpensive restaurant will cost you around $10 to $15 per person. But how about a meal for 2 in a nicer mid-range restaurant? Well, that will set you back by around $54. How about groceries, you ask? Well, 1 pound of beef will cost you around $3.87. For a pound of apples, you're looking at around $2.26, and a pound of rice will cost you somewhere around $1.82. Okay, here in Texas, a discussion on food and dining would not be complete without looking at the cost of alcohol in Fort Worth. Texans are known for their hospitality. Fort Worth has lots of bars and clubs ready to welcome you in true Texan style. You might try the well-known Barcadia's, which has $3 wells every day, plus other specials. Oh, and by the way, in case the term wells is unfamiliar to you, well liquor is lower cost liquor that a bar uses more frequently in mixed drinks than the top shelf brands. Well drinks are the mixed drinks used making this liquor. In addition to Barcadia's, you could try the Boiled Owl Tavern. It's famous for its craft beers and Led Zeppelin. It has regular specials on wells and draws in people from all walks of life. Here are some prices you can expect to run into in Fort Worth. A pint of domestic beer at a restaurant pub will cost you anywhere between $2 to $5. A bottle of imported beer at a restaurant pub will run you more like $4 to $6. In way of comparison, a bottle of imported beer at a supermarket is around $2 to $3. A mid-range bottle of wine at a supermarket will run you anywhere from $7 to $15. Moving along, let's talk about number 3, the cost of transportation in Fort Worth. Fort Worth's public transportation system is run by the T. There are buses and commuter trains to get you in and out of the city. Many people commute by train from Fort Worth to Dallas and Arlington. That trip takes around an hour. Prices for public transportation in Fort Worth are actually very reasonable. An adult single bus ticket will run you around $1.75. A one-day ticket will cost you around $3.50, and a monthly unlimited season ticket is only $9. In terms of owning and driving a car in Fort Worth, people do use their cars to get to and from work. This causes the usual rush hour traffic jams. However, they are nowhere near as bad as the traffic jams in Dallas. Your average mid-range new car in Fort Worth, a Toyota Corolla, for example, is going to cost you around $21,000. Gas in Fort Worth is going to cost you on average just over $2 a gallon. Moving on to number 4, the cost of taxes in Fort Worth. Well, obviously, no matter where you live in the United States, you're going to pay federal taxes. There's no state income tax in Texas, though, so that's really nice. In Fort Worth, you will pay a sales tax of 8.25%. This is added to most goods and services. Generally speaking, the price you see on an item does not include that sales tax. Here's a fun fact for you. Texas generally has a tax-free weekend right before school starts in the fall. Shoppers flock to the stores to stock up on everything from clothes to school supplies and everything in between. After all, a savings of 8.25% is a pretty good deal. If you own a home in Fort Worth, you will have to pay property taxes based on where your home is located as well as what your home is worth. Fort Worth's property tax rate overall is 2.77% based on your home's value. But sometimes there can be assessments on particular neighborhoods which would raise that rate even higher. Now, how does that compare to the rest of North Texas? Well, it's a little on the high side. Property tax rates in North Texas range from 1.88% in Double Oak to 3.06% in Lancaster. We've talked about the cost of living, but there are other things that go into a moving decision. Is a move to Fort Worth right for you? Well, not a cost of living component, but still important. Let's talk about activities in Fort Worth. Fort Worth has a lot to offer people of all ages, from its great art scene to its historical sites and places such as the zoo, the botanical gardens, and museums. So many wonderful things to do in Fort Worth. Well, now you know the cost of living in Fort Worth, including housing, dining, groceries, transportation, and taxes. You also have an idea of the plethora of things to do here. But there's one very important thing I haven't mentioned yet. What are jobs like in Fort Worth? Moving for work is one of the most common reasons people choose to move. While it is possible to move without a job, it makes sense to ensure there are jobs in your field before you make the move. So, jobs in Fort Worth. Well, Fort Worth is known for the aerospace industry, but there is a lot more to the job market than that. There are opportunities in education, airlines, health, IT, service industry, and so much more. The average salary in Fort Worth, Texas is $65,000. The most popular occupations are operations manager, mechanical engineer, and software engineer, which pay between $40,000 and $112,000 per year. The most popular employers in Fort Worth, Texas are Lockheed Martin Corp., Lockheed Martin Aeronautics Company, and Bell Helicopter Textron. So do you feel like you know Fort Worth a little better now? Hopefully, I've given you a lot to chew on as you plan your move to Texas. If you're thinking about moving to Texas or Fort Worth, I would love to help find the right community for you. All you need to do is reach out to me via my contact information right here at the bottom of my screen, and let's get acquainted. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have, hop on over to my YouTube channel where you'll find many more videos just like it. In fact, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell while you're at it. That way you can be notified every time I put a new video out. Listen, thank you so much for joining me today and watching my video. Have a great day.